I'm the Curious Sage, Dwayne Grove, bringing you the amazing and transformative power and value of human connection. Holding the light. Holding the light. As children of the light, more than any other time, certainly in our history, we're being called to hold the light. Recently, somebody said to me, holding the light can be a bitching job. And it can be, because holding the light means standing in your own truth. And what is your own truth? A while back, I did a video when we were out in Maui about the truth, right? And what is the truth? But more than any other time right now, we need to go within and seek the truth. There are those, whether they're on the right or left, conservative or liberal, and around the world, that are seeking to take advantage of this opportunity, this crisis, to reshape the world in their image and to secure greater power for themselves. And whether you believe that they are well-meaning or not, the fact of the matter is that there's a lot going on out there that will ultimately, if we allow it to, reshape our world, not in a way that brings light and love, but in a way that strengthens the power of those that want to control us. Here in the United States, there are those that are seeking to capitalize on the current crisis to reshape the way that our laws are written, our elections are held, and to reshape just every piece of fabric of our society. And there are others that seek to try and capitalize it on a different way by strengthening the federal government and strengthening the perceived value of that government. And if you spend a lot of your time watching the news, whether you listen to one set of channels or another is somewhat irrelevant, even the media is trying to shape the narrative to fit their needs and their objectives. What we believe we are being spoon-fed as truth each and every day is not necessarily the truth. And I'm not here to in any way suggest that the current pandemic is just a false signal. Certainly there are people that are unfortunately dying. But one of the images that came to me in my personal reflection time is they say this current virus started in the wet markets of China. And while that still remains to be seen, the image that Spirit brought forth to me is the image of the wet markets. And if you know anything about wet markets in Asia, they are places where live animals and creatures are brought, and they are slaughtered there on the spot to whoever comes in and pays for them. And what immediately came to me was that as we are holed up in our homes, it's like we are the animals caged in a wet market, waiting for some government official or somebody out there, whether it's in the media or local governments, federal government. We're just sitting here in our homes waiting for somebody to come in and purchase us so that we can be slaughtered. And the battle that we're in right now is the very battle for the life of our souls. And so we can't allow others to capitalize on this moment. As children of the light, we are called to a much higher ideal, a much higher truth. That truth is that we are all created in the image and likeness of our Creator, and that we are here for a higher purpose. And so, being a child of the light in this moment requires us to be ready to stand up. And while it may be difficult while we are all compliant in our homes as part of a social distancing campaign, I think one of the things that we can do in this moment is to question. And I would encourage you to question everything. No matter whether it is the current administration here in the United States trying to blow sunshine in our face each and every day, or if it's the media trying to make it sound like whole cities are just, being crumbled around us. Question everything, because I don't believe for a moment the truth is really what is being spoon-fed to us. And so in this moment, question everything, and go into your heart and ask your heart what it says. Because it is our hearts that are connected with our divine Creator that will tell us where the truth lies. And it's not to give our power over to some sort of bureaucracy or some institutions. There are some that right now are trying to remake our country, remake our world in a way that, from what my heart says, is dark and has no light. And so being a bearer of the light, being someone that holds light for others, not only requires great courage, but great conviction. And when we get through this period of isolation, which we will, it will be up to us to stand up and stand for our freedoms as individual spirits and as a collective consciousness that will not allow forces of the dark to be driving the agenda of the future. In my last video, I talked about the age of Pisces coming to a rapid end and the age of Aquarius now on the verge of just bursting forth. But if we are to step into the promise of the age of Aquarius, the age of enlightenment, then it requires us not to sit back as compliant animals in a market somewhere waiting to be slaughtered, but to armor up and be ready to be bearers of the light and to be willing to shine that light in every corner of the world and in every institution of the world and demand that we understand and be told the facts. And so I would encourage you in this time, while we are still somewhat all in limbo, if you will, to be reflective, but to be armoring up and to be prepared to demand from our elected officials and from the media and from the banks and other institutions that are the power brokers of this world, that we demand that we get our power back and that we not go compliantly into the market. I have this beautiful image in my prayer room, which is where I'm at right now. This beautiful image of the phoenix rising. And it reminds me each and every day that it is from the ashes that something beautiful arises. And so it is from the ashes of this pandemic, it is from the ashes of all the falsehoods that have been perpetrated upon us, that we, as children of the light, will come forward and we will bear light and bear witness to the truth.